Well, we need to look at Greece in this context that it's no longer under a bailout program. However, because due to a debt relief agreement that Greece reached with its creditors last year, Athens still needs to achieve certain fiscal targets. And these, for instance, include a primary budget surplus of 3.5% until 2022. Now, earlier this week, when I spoke with the opposition leader, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, he said that this is something he would seek to renegotiate with creditors if indeed he becomes prime minister later this year. And yesterday, the finance minister, Euclid Tsakalotos, also said that a 3.5% primary budget surplus is way too high for a country that lost nearly 30% of its GDP. Let's listen in.
There should be consensus across the political divide on this issue. I think the 3.5%, and I've said it an awful long time, is too high, especially for a country that lost 27% of its GDP. I don't think there should be something that we should disagree about. We should go together and say, in a Europe that has taken the lesson from the rise of the radical right and populist forces, that such high primary surplus targets only feeds into discontent, not only with the political parties, but with the political process itself. So I have no disagreement with the leader of the opposition that we need to do this, and it would be nice if he had a less conflictual attitude so that we actually could have consensus on this issue.
So let's imagine a scenario where New Democracy actually forms the next government. Would Syriza then, given what you just said, support Kyriakos Mitsotakis in getting that renegotiation from the creditors? We
wouldn't change our position just because New Democracy was in power. I don't think it's very likely they will be in power, but in the unlikely and unfortunate eventuality that they are in power, of course, if that was one of their main building blocks of what they wanted to do, we would support them. But we wouldn't support them in a large number of other areas, especially since we actually don't know what their program is. My deputy minister, the alternate minister for economy, in the budget debate estimated that the cost of their announcements so far was 5 billion in the first year and another 4 billion over the next 4 years. Now, we've had no serious response to New Democracy where that money's coming from. So, we spent the 900 million extra, not 900 billion, 900 million extra in 2019. Where the extra 4 billion to get to the 5.8 billion that they will announce come from, God only knows. Certainly we don't.
There's been quite a lot of contagion into Greek bonds, for instance. Last year, for instance, during the political instability in Italy, and I was just wondering, how do you intend to shield Greece from these external events, really?
The first strategy is to have this buffer. So effectively, Greek debt is collateralized for the next 2 years because of the buffer. We've created a debt deal which means that we have lower repayment schedules than countries like Portugal and Spain over the next 15 years. That gives us the space in which to be able to have serious discussion with opposition parties, with social partners, to have a growth strategy that begins to reduce the debt to GDP ratio from the denominator, in other words, from GDP, by having a serious growth strategy. That's what we're trying to do. We've tried to protect Greece and the markets by being very open about our policies on growth. People can look at our growth strategy. It's a public document. It's all budgeted. There are no surprises, and I think that is why markets are looking differently than us. I mean, the opposition says, of course, that we have higher interest rates than Portugal. Of course, we have higher interest rates than Portugal because Portugal left the programme quite a few years ago, and we've only just left the programme. But the issue is that we're going in the right direction. We're being upgraded by the rating agencies, so we have every reason to be confident about the future.
Greece's finance minister Euclid Tsakalotos saying that a 3.5% of primary budget surplus is way too high, and that both parties, the New Democracy and Syriza, should come together and seek to renegotiate this threshold.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.